So, this is for the full moon at the 11th of August, 22, near the Mauna Kea on the Hawaiian Islands in the Hawaiian Kingdom. And it's going to be intense. We have the opposition of Sun in Leo and in the 8th house. In opposition to, of course, the moon, and right next to is Saturn. Now, this is a constellation between moon and Saturn. Is if somebody has that in his or her personal chart, there is an emotional inhibition because the moon is so overshadowed by the sternness and discipline that Saturn is asking from us. And I've been working with somebody who has this constellation lately, and I have a similar constellation where Saturn is in opposition. My Saturn is somewhere here, and my moon is somewhere here, between Scorpio and Taurus. But here now we have it between Leo and Aquarius. Now, Leo stands for our gloire, like how we are appearing in the world, like kings and queens, and we are showing off, and we are beautiful, and we are distributing alms, and we are fair and generous. So that's all Leo. And then in opposition is the collective, and says, okay, are you doing enough? And here is the 2nd house. The 2nd house is equivalent to Taurus. That's the first earth sign in the zodiac. And it stands for how we are dealing with our possessions, with property. How do we ground ourselves in the world? And now, as this is happening in Aquarius, and that is the last air sign in the zodiac, where the air is in service to all what is, to the collective. So I call this Aquarius the reformer, and there Saturn is now asking us for some time. Soon Saturn is going to go into Pisces and say, "Oh my God, I'm afraid of that because I'm a Pisces." So, but right now, still in Aquarius and asking hard questions about the contribution of wealth on this planet. And so there we have this this opposition, and this is topped by the conjunction between the North Node, which is always the karmic aim of a situation, or when it is in a personal chart, the person. And that is in conjunction with Uranus, and Uranus is the one that delivers very fast and very sudden and very surprising epiphanies and other kinds of very jolting, surprising movements. And for me, Uranus is like the higher octave of Mercury right here, and now in Virgo, coming up next. And then also very close is Mars. Shortly before, we had this conjunction between Uranus and Mars and the North Node, and I've been so busy with my own processes that I haven't even noticed what happened in the world. And today we have this 8-8 Lion's Gate, where always comes a lot of energy, Leo energy, roaring Leo energy, showing off Leo energy is coming through, and I feel it very, very, very strongly. So this stands for conflict. Can't help it. There's conflict, and I hate conflict, but sometimes you just have to go through. Can't help it. What is our saving grace here is that from the sun there is this beautiful 120-degree angle. This is called a trine to Chiron the Wounded Healer. And Chiron the Wounded Healer is in this location of the Earth, which is I don't say that now. Okay, but right here, Chiron stands in the fourth house. The fourth house, and very close to the point of family here. This is the Imam Köli. This is like a 12 o'clock night of your whole zodiac circle here. And so the fourth house is from here to here, and Chiron is in the fourth house, very close to this point. And so here is healing in the family. That's the theme of the new full moon, of the new full moon, of the next full moon. All right. So at the 11th, very, very soon. So I hope you can watch this and don't ignore it. And so we have, if we want to overcome the opposition we have here, so we are going to the healing part. There, we need healing. All of us, each one in a different way. And as we're healing ourselves, we need also to heal the land, because that's the ground of where our families are supposed to live, lovingly, loving everything, you know. And so that's happening. Here, the point of conflict, yeah, also has a beautiful trine from Mars to Pluto. Pluto being in the first house. First house stands for I, me, myself. This is where we find ourselves. Is in Capricorn, is in the last Capricorn. And here we are finding ourselves conscious, with the consciousness of our Earth Mother, and that she's suffering, and that we are called to elevate her suffering, because she wants to elevate our suffering as well. And there's also a male energy, and it is only very recently that I have come to consciously call this male energy the Christ energy. But they are together, yeah. So here we have this trine, 120-degree angle, and then here we have a sextile from Pluto to Neptune, who is, as the ocean god, of course, is in Pisces, is in the ocean. And this is the third house here. And the third house stands for learning. It's equivalent to Gemini. And also we have Jupiter here, also still in the third house, which is also not very strongly aspected here, but also it is helping our learning processes about what? Family and how to heal it. It's very, very, very important that we are healing within our families. Now coming to the fifth house. This is very important because the fifth house is equivalent to Leo. And this is where we perform art, because there we are showing off. We are showing ourselves, you know, we are playing and, you know, making merry. But it's also a place for romance, for love affairs in the highest, can be in the highest sense, you know, like in the German medieval tradition of the Minnesingers. There was like a courtly love that was totally what they call platonic love, was highly refined love. And of course, they would rape the maids, but nevertheless, that's a culture that existed, of this high courtly love. And so we have this triangle here. Neptune stands for all-embracing love, for compassion, is mostly very well aspected right here. Because if he's not, we're going into la la land. We're going into drug addiction and all this kind of stupid things. And since I was born and sometime before, until now, always Pluto and Neptune are more or less in a wonderful sextile 60-degree angle. And the 60-degree angle is also called a Venus angle. It's not a very strong influence that shines on us, who we have to locate ourselves here in the middle of the circle while everything's dancing around us. But this is where it goes to, There, like, here's such a sixth part of the whole cake. That's a sextile, right? And so they are together. Pluto is like the higher octave of Mars and can be very, very violent if we are not if we are opposing change that has to be made. If not, it's just helping us, empowering us. And in this case, we can count on that we will be empowered if we want to. I'm making this video for all people that are here working on what is called Aloha Aina, the love for the land, for the earth. This land in particular, because this land is so special. On the whole earth, this land is absolutely special. Hawaii, the whole Hawaii, especially the big island with its volcano, and the Mauna Kea. But this has to be really transported, broadcasted globally. But the center is right here in Hawaii, for us to work with these energies. So here we are called to work artistically together, express ourselves, express our strong desire for a sane, safe earth. I would recommend, please, 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 people, look at the books of Vladimir Maigret, and they're called Anastasia, the Ringing Cedars of Russia. And there's in particular one book, it's called Kindomain. So whoever has a farm as a family business and starting it, not like generations already, like here in Hawaii, but like city people like us coming to this land, starting a farm with your whole family, read this book, you will just love it. So we are expressing ourselves here as best as we can, whether we play music or we just talk like me, or we write or we paint or whatever we do, make music, make videos, but dare to express yourself. Whenever you start expressing yourself, somebody will come and say, you got to be like punched in the mouth for saying this. You can't help it. The moment you step out into the limelight, somebody will have something to say about it. So, but we have to overcome that fear. It's a great fear. And it's a fear also that is not, it's not like a superstition. It's real. We can be really get hurt the moment we are expressing our own individual truth. Now here is the seventh house. And at the very, 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 very end, at the seventh house, is Venus. Venus is not playing a too great of a role in this event coming up next. And she's just at the verge. She's leaving Cancer. And Cancer is the domain of family. It is there the archetype of Isis and the Madonna, all the mother and child, holy, sacred images that you have all over the world. It's located here. Here's a nice, lush, moist, warm nest place. This is all family. And Venus is just leaving that, where she has been very motherly, and she is becoming a queen, going into Leo. And here we have a karmic angle to the sign rising of this event. The sign rising always stands in astrology for the point that was rising at the eastern horizon at the particular time of this event. Was or will be, because this is now future. And so we're looking in the future. And here again, we have a transition between the last fire sign of Sagittarius, where the fire is in service of the collective of all that is, and we're coming into rock bottom of Capricorn. And don't forget that the legendary persona of Jesus Christ allegedly has been born in Capricorn. That is really a place also of resurrection. Yeah, here is the nature is going to sleep, is going into hibernation, and the seeds are frozen into the earth and preserved like that for the next spring. Well, it starts here at here at Aries. Yeah. So, so what it is all about, the houses in a chart, is that this is kind of a personified zodiac, where like the first house is equivalent to Aries, the second house is equivalent to Taurus, and so on. So the houses take over the flavor of, like here, the first house takes over the flavor of Aries, but in a very controlled way, right? This is there's a lot of control in Capricorn. Very important sign, Capricorn, since Pluto is here. And when it comes to Capricorn energy, I always want to remind us that where we get our diamonds from, that they have to be then cut and treated to even become sparkly, is that this is actually dead trees that have been under a tremendous pressure and then becomes a pitch black coal. And then if that coal gets more pressure, then it becomes this most lucid, clearest crystal, hardest, the hardness of a diamond. That is the hardness of a diamond is reached by a lot of pressure. And while we're under this pressure, we're probably not very happy about it, but that's exactly what forms us to this clarity and hardness. So here we have the opposition to Venus. So that could stand for something like this horrible Amber Heard and what's his name, Johnny Depp trial that I've just followed the headlines and I say, oh my goodness, what a stupid shit show they are delivering. But it's like, it's right now, it's the time that the American malehood is so horribly, how they call it, henpecked? They just want to peck back. So sorry, people. I mean, think about your abortions. Think about all this. I'm sorry. All right. This was an excursion. What is important again? So here we have, Venus. Venus is under scrutiny, and that's a karmical thing. How is Venus expressing herself? Is she